Let's talk about the Declaration of Independence for a few minutes because I think it's the foundation upon which our Constitution rests, particularly because it talks about the grievances of the people who needed to be representative and wanted to have representation, and the king wouldn't allow it. And that's what we're facing again today, 250 years later. Uh, let's maybe start with the example of Trump posting what the new, whatever it is, a dollar bill or $100 bill with Trump's picture on it says on the back. It doesn't say, "In God we trust." It says, "Thank God for Trump." Can you imagine such a thing on an American dollar bill? Uh, Thanking God for one person. We thank God for every person, and our declaration talks about all men are created equal. Our Pennsylvania Constitution talks about people and persons that have these rights, that not just men. It is broader than that, and the U.S. Constitution has been amended so that people includes all minorities. It includes women, and I don't care what that minority is. They are part of this country, and their voice needs to be, and has the right to be heard. The the Declaration talks about how the king would forbid laws unless he specifically consented to them. He refused to pass laws unless the population would relinquish their rights of representation. Does this sound familiar? He would dissolve representative houses of government on a whim. Does this sound like Mike Johnson? You bet it does. He refused to cause other people to be elected as representatives of the people. He would prevent the population of the states from having rights for immigration and naturalization of people who've come to this country. Does that sound familiar? He would make judges dependent upon his will. Does this sound like the judges who were just interviewed in the Senate, who said they didn't know if Joe Biden had won the election in 2020? They didn't know if Donald Trump had lost the election. It certainly seems to me to be the exact same thing. And look at Kash Patel firing scores of FBI agents because they wouldn't kiss Trump's ring the way Kash Patel kisses his butt, probably shortly after having 3 or 4 or 5 drinks. For that, I wouldn't blame Patel. They objected to the king sending swarms of officers to people's houses. Does that sound like ICE and what they've done? He's kept among us standing armies. That sounds a lot like Trump wanting to put military and ICE agents around polling places during the incoming or upcoming elections. The king had tried to put the military over civil power. That is exactly what Trump and Hegseth are trying to do, is exercise the rights upon which this country and its population stood on its collective feet and said, no, well, we're not going to have that. The king had cut off trade the colonies needed and wanted. That's Trump and his god-awful tariffs and what he's tried to do. He has deprived people of trial by jury, which is exactly what Trump has tried to do, including with the representatives who called out Hegseth on violating military law. He's cut off people from the protection of the crown. This is very similar to Trump only giving FEMA aid to what he sees as toady Republican states, and doesn't give anything to the Democratic states when they're in desperate need of help. If I were a governor of those states, I'd be looking at how to take the tax revenue that would otherwise go to the federal government and keep it within the states so that they could have the money that they need to protect their citizens. And let Mississippi and Alabama do that with their own people, because they're in bad enough shape as is. But if that's the game we're going to play, then I'd do that for a while and see how everybody likes dealing with Trump. The Declaration of Independence talks about how Great Britain and the King were ravaging our coast. That's the same way that they're letting oil companies drill off of all the coasts willy-nilly under some theory that we want to create as much danger for our coasts as possible. And that I think the most interesting declaration was that the King was inciting domestic insurrection in the United States. I think that's what Trump and the MAGA people are doing. They're trying to create insurrection in this country and destroy it from within. Our enemies are not all from without, they're from in. And when Trump tries to do whatever he can to destroy democracy and refer to Democrats as evil, as dumb, as stupid, as using terrible words against black people and other minorities, that's exactly what he's trying to do. And we overthrew the King for it then and declared our independence. And it's time to make sure that we, the people, are doing the same thing now.